What's going on, MMA community? This is the DC show, and I'm bringing you Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier, full card, bets, predictions, and breakdowns. This card's pretty stacked, I think, in my opinion. There's a few bangers here. Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa, Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier, Randy Brown versus Zaleski. Man, Phil Rose versus Jake Matthews, and the one that I'm most excited for, which we'll get to soon, Lima versus Mitch Raposo. I'd like to give a shout out first to a few people that influenced me in making the decision. Firstly, the Die Hard MMA podcast. I've been watching him since he was before Pub Sports Radio. DFS by the numbers, same as Clint. Been watching him for a long time. We Want Picks, a staple in the MMA community. Fight Night Picks, they've finished their show, but they were a huge influence, especially in the COVID days, of top tier, top quality MMA content. I also want to inform you guys that I will be continuing this YouTube channel, not just with bets, breakdowns, and predictions, but also with some MMA content. So I'm looking to upload at least twice a week, one for an MMA breakdown of the event, and two for just some random content that I feel will be enjoyable for your guys' experience. Without further ado, I think we should get to the first fight of the night, which is Mr. Mitch Raposo versus Lima. We'll start with Mitch Raposo. So everyone's been talking up this Mitch Raposo, and I'm just not sure if I'm there yet. He is a 9-1 fighter, and he's making his UFC debut, but he's also shown on the Contender Series and the Ultimate Fighter. The Contender Series, he lost against Jake Hadley. So what? Jake Hadley's a pretty good fighter. He had a really close decision against Charles Johnson. The one here, Ludovic Shalinian, I don't know, man. And then you look at his competition, and I'm just not impressed by his competition. You watch this Carvalho fight. It's on YouTube. Have a look. So it's not going to take long to watch. This man should be in a retirement home. No offense. And then you got Tyler Smythe, which, not that great either. And then this Justine Valentine guy, I think his record, 4-3. And it's taking Mitch until the 4th round to defeat him. I don't know. He's got good takedowns, I'll give him that. And he's also got okay boxing, and he carries that power onto later rounds. But I'm just not sure how effective that will be in this fight. That's all I can really give to him. He's got, good cardio. He gets the later rounds, but wrestling is his main bread and butter, and he's done that effectively against certain competition. But like I said, this is a big step up. Lima is not Justine Valentine. He's definitely not Mr. Carvalho here, who is nearly my grandpa's age, who's passed away. But and then losing against Ludovic Shalinian, red flag. Ludovic Shalinian just lost, I believe, to what's his name? Someone that I'm not that impressed with either. Johnny Munoz Jr. I think that tells you a certain image, paints a picture. And then we'll go to Mr. Lima, and I'm impressed by Lima. I'll be fully transparent with you. I was on Igor Severino, and I'm telling you right now, I thought live Igor Severino was starting to break Lima, and then I rewatched the tape, and I'm certain that he was breaking Lima. He was going to finish Lima, or he was going to get the decision victory. He was taking him down, boxing his face off. And yeah, he did get cracked with that step-in elbow in the first round. But he is seriously a force, and this Severino guy. And it's unfortunate that he turned Vampire Diaries on Lima. What I liked about Lima in that fight was his calmness. He was always calm. Even in his Contender Series fight, he was just always in a calm manner. Picked his shots well, used his kickboxing acumen that he has. He's a kickboxing South American champion, and he mixed it up. He uses his elbows, uses his straights, his teeps. I like his teep kicks, and he just plays like a long rangey game. He kind of reminds me of a miniature Michael Morales. So yeah, I am impressed by him, but I also did notice in that Igor Severino fight, he was cheating quite a bit. I thought the point was going to get taken away for grabbing the cage, but it was actually Igor that was the one that got disqualified for biting him. But he was grabbing the cage. He grabbed it like 3 to 4 times, which was pretty crazy. But yeah, when it comes to the overall breakdown, what is Raposo going to do to Lima in this fight? I think Severino, the opponent that Lima just fought, is 10 times Raposo because he actually has the striking as well to meet the to match the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu. And Andre Lima was, he won round 1 against him. The only way I think Mitch Raposo can win this is just by taking down Lima and eventually breaking him just due to exhaustion. I don't think that's going to happen. We know judges score damage, and if it's taking him to the 4th round to fight someone that's got a 4-3 record, I don't think you're going to be able to break someone in 3 like Mr. Lima. So I think Lima's going to win this one by KO, and I'm actually really highly confident on this fight. Let's go to the next one. Joselyne Edwards versus Ailin Perez. And man, I don't know about you guys, but parlaying Ailin Perez I think is a bad choice. We'll start off with her since we're talking about her. What has she got? So Miss OnlyFans here has got good takedowns and a good game plan. I think her striking's pretty undesirable. And her takedowns, yes, they're good. They're relentless. It's good for women's MMA. I'll give her that. But I want to bring up a point here. Ashley Evans Smith. It was Ashley Evans Smith off a 4-year layoff, right? And she was doing some other shows, and she was her career was not in MMA anymore. Ailin Perez had so much control over her. Could not finish her. Could not do anything. That's something that scares me. When you sit on your opponent, and it kind of brings me back to that Mitch Raposo fight. Even if Mitch Raposo gets Lima down, sorry to go off topic, what's he going to do? He doesn't have jiu-jitsu, and he doesn't have real serious ground and pound. But anyway, back to this one. Perez, what's she going to do? She sits on top of her opponent, and she does some a little bit of ground and pound here and there. But it's not enough to finish someone like Ashley Evans Smith. Also, in the Ashley Evans Smith fight and the Kopylov fight, and we saw it largely in this fight, the Kopylov fight, the 3rd round hits, what happens? She starts to slow down. Kopylov starts to get on top of her, and she looks like a fish on her back. She just sits there. She's waiting for the round to end because she knows she banks the first 2. Man, I don't know if you want to rely on that there. You're relying on her to get takedowns and to not gas out, because I don't think she's finishing someone like Joselyne Edwards, who's what's Joselyne Edwards? Has she ever been finished before? Okay, so she's been submitted once and never KO'd. So yeah, so we'll go with Joselyne Edwards now. What I like about her is her clinch game. She's pretty nasty in the clinch. She's tall. I think she's like 5'8" for a female fighter, so that's pretty tall. And people talk about her kickboxing. No, cut the boxing out. Kicking. She's good at kicker, and she's big for the weight class, so she uses that range and that kicking acumen to keep her opponents at bay and at distance. She's also training at King's MMA, so that's another point that I like to bring up sometimes. Their gyms, I think the gyms play a heavy emphasis on the fighter, and King's MMA is a good gym. What I don't like about her, and it's pretty obvious, you watch any other MMA breakdown betting show, her takedown defense, and more importantly, not just her takedown defense, when she's on bottom. She does not know what to do on bottom. She is worse than a white belt on the bottom. That spells trouble against someone like Ailin Perez, because if Ailin Perez gets her to the floor, I don't know if she's going to get back up. You saw that in the Jessica Rose Clark fight. Jessica Rose Clark's not a wrestler, guys. The Carol Rosa fight. Carol Rosa is not a wrestler. The Kopylov fight, which she should have lost. Let's be real here. She should have very much. I had a bet on Kopylov there, and I was shocked when they read this scorecard. Absolutely shocked. And then the Nora Cornole fight. Close one. I think Nora Cornole is actually a good fighter. Yeah. What can you say about that one? She used her own takedowns in that fight with the classic women MMA's head and arm throw, which I don't know about that anymore. But yeah, we're gonna break this down with Ailin Perez. Does she get the takedowns? I think she. Oh, guys, I'm confused about this one. I think she does get them in the first, and then I think Edwards breaks her. Okay, I'm taking Joselyne Edwards here. and it's very low confidence. But I just don't think Ailin Perez is going to do enough on the bottom. And I think once she's on the feet and once she's tired, she's going to get picked apart by Joselyne Edwards' kicks. And potentially losing the third round. I might call the third round KO or sub here. She could, Joselyne Edwards doesn't really sub anyone, but you never know. I'm gonna go third round decision for Joselyne. I'm not happy with that one, but we'll move forward. Bassil Hafez versus Mickey Gall. We'll start off with Hafez because I've got a lot to talk about this man. Everyone is parlaying this man, and I say everyone. I don't know how you can parlay him. I don't know how. Yes, it's Mickey Gall, and yes, he's been away in the game. But let's talk about Hafez first. He's got good takedowns. Yeah, okay, we saw that in the JDM fight. But let me get something straight. People were saying that he had an opportunity, or he could have gotten that decision win. No, you do not win by laying on your opponent. JDM ruined this guy's body, and if it wasn't for his insane, I can't believe this man didn't go down. His insane chin and his insane conditioning in his body, he would have been KO'd straight away. But that wasn't a close fight. I'm telling you, JDM was just throwing guillotines out there because I don't know what he was doing, to be honest. He cut weight twice in 1 week, or in 2 weeks, sorry. Yeah, I think you can't rate fighters too much on a loss. People do that all the time. They go, person lost this one, they did pretty good in that loss, they should win the next one. No, doesn't always mean it, but I still do think it means in this fight because he's fighting against Mickey Gall, and Mickey Gall, or Gall, sorry. It's a big layoff. 2 years since he fought Mike Malott. Didn't look good in the Mike Malott fight. Didn't look good in the Morono fight. Jordan Williams not in the UFC anymore. Mike Perry out-wrestled him. And then I remember this one. I remember watching this one vividly. Diego Sanchez. Old man Diego Sanchez. Just ground and pounding this man's sorry ass. And he kind of embarrassed him. It showed to me that... And I had a bet on Diego Sanchez actually back then. Showed me that this man's just not cut out for high-level competition. I will admit he's got good in-tight boxing. He kind of stumbled Mike Malott, but we don't really know about Mike Malott anymore since he's lost to Neil Magny there. But I don't know. Well, that's another story for another day. He's also got BJJ. Everyone says that. Does he really show it? Not really. I mean, yeah. And I also think he's got the competition edge here slightly, just slightly. He's fought a range of people, and he's grown up in the UFC, 1-0 in the UFC. He was 1-0 in the UFC. Sage Northcutt's would win. I'll give him that. But what lacks about him, his chin. He gets dropped. He gives up. We saw in that Diego Sanchez fight. If you're getting ground and pounded from full guard, I have concerns. His cardio, in the Morono fight, was actually right. But in the Sanchez fight, he gave up. And, when it comes down to this fight, it's who do you trust here? Hafez, he gasses out. And before the JDM fight, everyone was saying that. And you could notice it. He gasses out. He fights through it, yeah, admittedly, and he carries a lot of power. But he is tired and he is weighted as soon as that second round hits. But I think what's going to happen is Hafez is going to be able to get the takedowns, or he's going to be able to strike with Mickey Gall because his chin is better than Mickey Gall's chin. I'm telling you, I promise you. He's going to be able to take the punches of Mickey Gall, and Mickey Gall, I promise you, is not going to be able to take the punches of Hafez. So I actually think his best method of victory is not wasting energy on the takedowns and the grappling. I think it's just knocking him out standing up. So I do think this fight's a lot closer than what people think. I don't know how you can trust Hafez just based off a loss where he really did get battered up and it was just JDM pulling gilly. But his opponent's Mickey Gall, and yeah, guys, take Hafez. Next up, we have... Oh, sorry guys. Next up, we have... Oh, my order has changed. Sorry about this. Next up, we have Phil Rowe versus Jake Matthews. Let's start on the Matthews side. What can we say about Matthews? He's kind of an all-in-one. He's got the boxing, he's got the wrestling, he's got the jiu-jitsu. But does he use it all in one fight altogether harmoniously? No, he uses one or the other. He'll either box the person or he'll wrestle the person. I do like his boxing part, and I think people really... It's funny because you guys can call me hypocrite. But I think he looked good in the Michael Morales fight, and I'm not basing these predictions just off that, but he looked good against someone that's a really good up-and-comer, undefeated fighter who's huge for the weight class. His Darius Flowers fight picked him apart. Darius Flowers doesn't really belong in the UFC. But what was really annoying was the Semmelsberger one, because he got dropped in every single round. But he won the majority of the round. That's the thing. He won like the 4 minutes 55 seconds of the round, just besides getting dropped. And what annoyed me the most was in the third round, he started using just trips, not even like singles or doubles, just trips. Muay Thai trips. Started getting on top of this guy easily. If he had done that from the start, just mixed it up a bit, he would have destroyed Semmelsberger. He is levels above Semmelsberger, and I promise you that. Fialo fight with the breakout one, everyone knows about it. But Fialo's on like a 6-fight losing streak now, a 6-fight knockout losing streak, so we can't really weigh that up too much. And then the Sean Brady one, that brings in some of his negatives. You know, Sean Brady's a gun. I don't think that Bilal fight defined him. You know, fighters can have one-off fights, but what I noticed in that one is he can get stuck in his back quite easily, and he can't really get up that well. Even in the Darius Flowers fight, at the end of the round, he kind of just laid there for like 45 seconds. I don't know, he probably, you know, I don't know as much as fighters. They could kick my ass any day of the week. They could kick most of your asses any day of the week unless you're a fighter yourself. So they know what they're doing more than us, but he laid on his back for the last minute under Darius Flowers. Let's go to his opponent, Mr. Phil Rowe, the Fresh Prince, or Neil Magny's doppelganger. What do I like about Rowe? Ranging strikes, maybe. I don't know. He's I don't know how to read Phil Rowe. Okay, he's got good strikes when he's fighting chinny opponents. Costa. Wit. Niko Price was beating this man, I think. Third round, Niko Price gets overzealous because he hurts Phil Rowe, and what happens? Phil Rowe comes back, credit to him, gets a clean punch, and then finishes off against the cage. What else is good about him? He's mixing up his wrestling lately. He is, and I think that's important in his fighting career because I don't think he can just be one striker. He doesn't really use leg kicks. He's got no offense to him, he's got really skinny legs. So those leg kicks, or those kicking with the legs, not really effective. And his boxing is okay. It's not. I don't think it's good close range. I think it's just more of a rangy striker. But he doesn't really use it that well. So, what don't I like about him? This one that everyone talks about, the Neil Magny fight. He clinched against Neil Magny, clinched against the cage against Neil Magny. This is Neil Magny's only path to victory these days, unless you're Mark Malott, which you give up in the third round. But anyway, don't worry about that. he clinched with Neil Magny, and you know what he says after it? Yeah, I wanted to test my clinch game. Bro, why are you testing it against a fight that was trying to showcase you and trying to get you out there? He would have fought probably a ranked fighter by then. But he clinches with Magny and gets the loss, and now he's back to fighting Jake Matthews. He also got his leg shredded, absolutely shredded against Gabe Green. So leg kicks could play a factor here. And his cardio and his chin, I don't know. He kind of gassed hard against Niko Price, but Niko Price did throw like 200 strikes or something like that. But it's of concern. Who am I gonna pick? I'm gonna pick my boy, Jake Matthews. I'm gonna pick him. I have to pick the Aussie. This is a very, very, very low confidence pick. Do not tell me on this. Do not say, you said you picked Jake Matthews. I'll put him in my parlay. Don't put him in your parlay. Don't follow this pick. It's a low confidence pick for a reason. I just think he's going to have the high output. I think he can mix up his game better. And he's been in the UFC a lot longer than Phil Rowe. And, you know, I think both are live for a bonk. I honestly think Phil Rowe can also get a bonk here. And I think Jake Matthews can find the spot. But I'm going to pick Matthews KO decision. Very low confidence pick. Like I said, please don't come back at me and say, you told me to pick Matt. No, I didn't. No, I really am not. It's just I have to pick someone, and I'm picking Jake Matthews. I told you the negatives and the positives of both. Okay? Now leave me alone. All right. Next fight coming up, we have Grant Dawson versus Joe Solecki. Grant Dawson, the body triangle king, I think. He is a relentless wrestler, and we've seen in every single fight. This Damir as man, I find it hard to pronounce these Russians. Damir Ismagulov. That fight showcased Grant Dawson and who he was. He was relentless with the takedown, and once he got it, he secured the body triangle and won the rounds out. Half Nelson, this man. That was embarrassing. I don't even do that to my girl. I'm gonna cut that out. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. Third round against Damir. Damir is a gun. Yeah, he's fallen off. Yeah, he's like semi-retired, but still. Then he out-wrestled Mark Madsen, who's an Olympic wrestler. I think it was like a silver or bronze medalist in Greco-Roman wrestling. Insane. And guys, you don't go, what is it? What's his record? 20-2-1 in the lightweight division. You do not go in this streak if you're not good, okay? Yes, he got the draw against Ricky Glenn, but I think he was at a different gym. I think he was with James Krause back then. Now he's at an American Top Team. What can I say? He's got perfect single leg entries, perfect double leg entries. He's got a game plan. He follows it. He didn't screw around with Damir Ismagulov. He wrestled him straight from the gap. And you know, the Bobby Green fight, it could be an anomaly. You know, he got caught in the first 30 seconds of the fight, and it was a strange like hook that Bobby got him with. Yeah, I don't know. He is a bit chinny, but I will give him that. The Mark Madsen, he got dropped in there. Ricky Glenn looked like the punches were hurting him in the third round, and then of course the Bobby Green fight happened. Let's go to his opponent, Joe Solecki. Joe Solecki, I think, is a washed down version of Grant Dawson. He kind of likes those body lock takedowns rather than the single leg or the double leg. So he's not really shooting on his opponents per se. He's kind of getting the opportunity where he can latch onto the opponent and go from there. And he'll either grab a standing body triangle, or he'll get the floor to the ground. Yeah, unfortunately I don't really slam in the first round. He did a beautiful takedown, Drakkar Close, to be honest. Excuse me. And then he got slammed after getting an armbar. Okay. Alright. Carl Deet in the third. Not really UFC level, but he did kind of dominate him, which is beautiful. The corpse of Donald Cerrone in a grappling match. Got him. And yeah, he had a good run in the lightweight division, don't get me wrong. And like I said with the Grant Dawson, you don't get these streaks and don't get these runs in, especially in the lightweight division. Maybe in the heavyweight, where like half of them are obese, no offense, you can get a win streak going. But in the lightweight and the lighter divisions, it's hard to do so. What I don't like about him is, and this goes for both fighters, their striking kind of suck. No offense, they rely on that grappling, on that wrestling to win fights. I also don't really like, I said that he got a good takedown close, but besides that, you don't really see like single double legs from Solecki, so I don't really like his entries into the wrestling. And then, I don't know if it's a cardio issue or if it's he just loses confidence in himself. But when the third round hits, it's not like he's like breathing out of his mouth. He's just like, he loses energy. It's weird. He doesn't visibly look tired, but he does at the same time. And especially in that Jared Gordon fight in the third and second round, he was just, I don't know, like lackadaisical and just I don't know if it's a cardio thing or if it's just him not believing in himself that he can go and win these further rounds. Who I'm going to pick at this fight? Guys, it has to be Dawson. I think the more relentless fighter here and the more relentless grappler and wrestler is going to be Dawson. I also think Dawson's shown some good leg kicks, so I think he can implement those while on the feet when they are, which I don't think they are going to be on the feet for long, but when they are, I think he can implement those. And I think he just kind of grinds out Solecki. I don't think he gets a finish here, but I do think he wins a decision. It's a medium confidence pick, but yeah, I'm going to have to go with Dawson here. Not much else to say about this one. Next up, we have Jailton Almeida versus Alexandr Romanov. Have I got something to say about this fight? Let's start with Almeida. Tell me I'm wrong, but doesn't he have the best takedowns in the heavyweight division? He does, and it's not even close. What he did to Curtis Blades was something that I've never seen another fighter do. And Curtis Blades is an All-American wrestler. He took him down and dominated him in the first round. And I don't know if it was a cardio thing or if he just didn't realize he could get hit from that position, but he was going to secure. I thought he was going to secure that takedown in the second. He is a good fighter, and he's shown that across all his fights. He took down Derek Lewis, dominated him. Took down Rosenstruck, dominated him. Took him down. Took Gall down. You know, these two fighters, you know, is what it is. He still beat them. He is a phenomenal grappler and wrestler. And you know, people are harping on him about his cardio. Can he wrestle for 3 rounds? Guys, he wrestled Derek Lewis for 5 rounds, and yes, he didn't do too much on it, but I promise you, I don't know if you've ever trained MMA in your life, but when you wrestle, no matter what you're doing on top, especially in a fight, you get tired. And he pushed through that and went 5 rounds with Derek Lewis, who could knock his head off at any moment. What I don't like about him is it's kind of contradictory, but what his positives are, which is his wrestling. I don't like how he's so reliant on his wrestling. He doesn't really have striking. His striking is okay. It's kind of like a shadow box, to be honest, like a shadow kickbox, what you do when you're warming up for your class. But he's still got some striking, and I do think he has the better striking out of the two. I think he manages range a bit better than Romanov, and you know, he can implement it. But without his takedowns, he's kind of a bit lost. He's also a natural light heavyweight, but I think people are overrating that or like concerning that a bit too much. You know, he is a light heavyweight I'm stumbled. Naturally, he's a light heavyweight, but against these big, burly, unfit, unathletic heavyweights, he gets away with it. He was getting away with Curtis Blades, and Curtis Blades is a huge heavyweight, and he was dominating him in the first round. All right, let's get to Alexandr Romanov now. What happened to this man? I remember betting on this man back here against Rocky Martinez and Rogerio de Lima, and I was like, wow, this guy is going to make a run for the title. He was just dominating. He showed insane judo back then, and he was just picking these guys up, hip tossing them, suplexing him. I remember suplexing, I think it was Chase Sherman. Really good judo. He's also got a nice top game. You see here, he's got a forearm choke against De Lima, which, if you don't know what that was, he literally just stuck his forearm into the throat of De Lima and made him tap out. And Americana. So those are good for heavyweights in the grappling department. But man, let's begin with the negatives. All right. First of all, is his how do I say this? His commitment to the game. Look at the body composition between the Chase Sherman fight and the Marcin Tybura fight. This man, I don't know what's wrong with him, but he is just not giving it all. And you look on Instagram now, he's still looking unfit. It's not like, oh, okay, I've you know, I just scraped through Ivanov, old man Ivanov. I should really get myself into shape again. Nope, still big, still chunky. And that plays into his cardio concerns. That Volkov fight was insane. I've never seen someone gas out in a minute. 1 minute. Took 1 literal minute. 1 failed takedown attempt, gassed. Marcin Tybura fight, gassed off the first round. Although he did get a good 10-8 in the first round, still gassed. And then guys, why is no one talking about the Juan Espino fight? The man took quitting way out. He did a I don't like saying it. You know what? I'm not gonna call it the Aljamain. I'm gonna call it the Ariane Carnelosi. He did a Carnelosi. He got fouled in the second or third round. I can't remember what it was. He was starting. The tides were turning. He was gassed. Juan Espino was taken over. He was going to win that fight easily. Stops the fight because of a foul. You know, luckily got the decision victory there. Guys, overall, don't overcomplicate it. What do you think is going to happen when Almeida gets that first takedown? Romanov sucks off his back. He's not good off his back. He's not going to be able to get off underneath Almeida, and he's just going to tire out and tire out and tire out. And Almeida can either ride Romanov into the second round, or he can probably get the finish in the first, because I don't think Romanov's going to be able to get from underneath him. Almeida will shoot. Don't get it twisted. Unless he gets knocked out in the first second, or Romanov somehow does like a crazy judo throw while getting taken down, he's not going to get off or stop the takedown and get up from under the floor, and he's going to lose the first round. I think this is one of the easier predictions of the card, and I can't believe people are actually weighing this up. Why are we looking for ways for Romanov to win? He is not a good fighter. He's shown it. He's not disciplined in the fight game. He can't get up from takedowns. And Almeida secures the best takedowns in the division. I think it's a clean-cut victory for him. I think he gets the finish in the second round, and or the first round actually, first or second. Will give us that. And yeah, I think it's an easy victory. But please, it's MMA. I'm calling this my lock of the card. But don't come at me if I get it wrong, okay? I don't control the fighters. It's not PS5. I wish it was PS5. I wish I could say, go for the takedown here. Do this, do that. But I don't have control of the fighters. These are their own men and women. I just predict on what I've seen, the knowledge that I have. And yeah, that's all I can really do, okay? So don't come at me too hard. You can say I was wrong. You can comment on other things, but yeah, be nice to each other. I don't understand. The one thing I hate in this community is, so I watch people like the Die Hard MMA podcast. I watch, you know, Blood Money. I watch good podcasts. Watch Santino DeFranco with Brandon Olivas. Really good podcast. People come, they have like time in the day. I don't understand. Like, I'm that busy that people go back to YouTube videos that have been like last week and they're like, you were wrong. I can't believe you said that. Guys, we're just predicting. It's a prediction. It's an estimate. It's not a certified guarantee. That's why there's bankroll management in betting. That's why you shouldn't be basing your opinion off someone else's 100%. Do your own research. Have your own backbone and make your own decisions as well. You can use that information. Please use it. I want you to use it. But don't go around slating other people for something that you did yourself, okay? No one's pulling the puppets on you, the strings. At the end, it's your decision. Let's go to the next fight. We have Roman Kopylov versus Cesar Almeida. Cesar Almeida, let's start off with him. I'm pretty proud of this. A lot of people were on Budka. Didn't see it. Budka winning that fight. I picked Almeida to win that one, and he did. But when watching it live, it was different to rewatching the tape. I thought Almeida was just excellent with everything. You know, beautiful, beautiful. You watch the fight again. It was a bit like, you know, it is what it is. Dylan Budka dominated, controlling Almeida in the first. Not dominated, just controlled Almeida in the first. Gassed out. Went for a kind of like a Jailton Almeida against Curtis Blades. Went for a takedown against the cage, and Mr. Almeida here, Cesar Almeida, not Jailton. Cesar, don't get it confused. I was talking about the other fight. Now I'm talking about this one. Cesar elbowed him, punched him. Down goes Budka. What I like about Almeida, he has a nice straight, and it's kind of like he's like walking forward and he's throwing it. It's really unique, but it looks powerful. And he's always got this forward pressure going. You saw it in the Fernando fight on the Contender Series, just hunting this man down, and he used some good grappling in that fight. I don't think he should use it here. I don't think he should use it in the future at all, really. But against Fernando, he did some great you know, MMA. He didn't just do his kickboxing. He mixed in the grappling. He mixed in the striking, the jiu-jitsu, everything. But what I don't like about him, man, competition. Who's he fought? Who has he fought that you can tell me, yeah, this guy's shown it and proved it. Yes, okay, all right. You see that W down here. Can you look at the date? 2013. 2013. What have I done here? What have I done here? Sorry about that, guys. 2013. I was a little 14-year-old boy playing like Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Alex Pereira was young back then. And he still lost to him twice. So yeah, he did get that win, but come on guys. It's 11 years later. Just chill on the statistics there, the competition, alright? He hasn't fought anyone good. Let's go to Kopylov. Kopylov. I'm gonna say it right now. Actually wait, before I get to that. Pause myself. Let's continue the competition talk. Kopylov hasn't fought anyone either that's good. Come on guys. Alright. Claudio Ribeiro. Okay, not that good. Still smacked him around. Punahele Soriano. People thought Punahele Soriano, even in his last fights against Dustin Stolfitz, thought he was a good fighter, and he is a good fighter. Styled on him. The Chirico, yeah, okay, alright. Duraev, good wrestler. Carl Robertson, yeah, okay, I agree. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, future top 5? Seriously, with his cardio, with his wrestling, with his grappling, you know, and excuse me, but we go to that fight. People are like, Anthony Hernandez or Fluffy destroyed Kopylov. No, please get rid of this bias and watch the tape. I feel like a lot of people don't actually watch tape. They just like, they have this thing, they look at the loss by rear naked choke, or they just hear things. Kopylov was, I think, winning or won round 1. He was lighting up Hernandez, and Hernandez just has insane cardio and lately insane durability. He was taking some perfect shots from Kopylov that I think a lot of other people would have folded to. So it was a close fight to the second, and that was his worst stylistic matchup for him. Josh Friend's a quality fighter, and he dominated him. He battered him. I felt so sorry for Josh Friend, and his face was all bruised up. So let me get to the point I was going to say before, where I was about to say, let me get this straight. Kopylov, I think, and I'm telling you now, has the best kicks in the game. Best kicks against any division. I don't care about Yair Rodriguez. I don't care about Adesanya, Pereira. Pereira has the best leg kicks, I'll still agree. But body kicks and head kicks, this man snaps them out there. Snaps them. They are so fast. He hits everyone with them. Hit Claudio with a few. Punahele folded him with a few. The Chirico, Josh Friend absolutely destroyed him with them. Hernandez or Fluffy, he hit them so many times, and he just snaps them out there, and no one seems to be able to take them or like defend them or parry them away. It's just straight under the elbow or flush on the head, and some people get the guard up, but they are really nasty. He also has a really nice jab. He used it against Ribeiro. Friend, he busted up his face with him. Puna busted up his face with him. He's got a really nice jab. What I don't like about him is the gas tank, but I think you need to count who he's gassing out against. He's gassing out against grapplers. Cesar Almeida is not a grappler. He's not going to grapple him, and if he does, I don't think he's going to be able to do it, because he's got like Kopylov's got like an 88% takedown defense. So he gasses out against grapplers. He didn't really gas out against Hernandez. He just kind of got submitted. He gassed out against Duraev, yes, okay. But that's the only times he's really gassed out. It was just against grapplers. And what else? He can get hurt sometimes. He got cracked by Ribeiro, but Ribeiro has a lot of power. Almeida does have a lot of power as well. But I think he's just going to be the faster out of the two, and that's why I have to pick him here. I'm picking him because you watch Almeida's kicks. They are slow, man. Really, really, really slow. And even his punches, you know, I think Kopylov was going to be able to get out of the way with him, just jab him up, body kick him. Even if he wanted to, I think if he shoots in the inside of the cage, not on the outside, not against the cage, because we all know that cage wrestling is extremely hard to do in terms of securing the takedowns. But if he gets a takedown in the middle of the open, I think he could have some success. But yeah, I think it comes down to speed, and Kopylov is the much faster of the two. He can get bonked, don't get me wrong. You know, I think a good way to prop to play this is fight ends by KO. I think either one can get a KO here, but I am going to take Kopylov. It's a low confidence pick. It is a bit scary because you know, Almeida's an unknown fighter, but I'm going with the person who's been in the UFC for a lot longer and has shown me a lot more. Okay, on to the next one. Randy Brown versus Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. Let's start with Brown. He's kind of come into his prime here. What is he? He is 33. So yeah, maybe, yeah, prime. We'll give it to him. And we saw his striking in the Muslim Salikov fight. That straight was clean. It was so fast, so straight. It was just, you didn't even really see it. It was like from a certain angle, you kind of thought that Salikov just dropped from air. It was right at the edge of the jaw and just cracked him straight. Yeah, his striking is nice. It's long and rangy and it's fast. You saw against Chaos Williams as well. Chaos Williams is a fighter. He just got a nice victory, a nice KO last week, I think it was actually. Yeah. Hurt Chaos Williams with his striking, and you never really see Chaos really hurt. So it was you know, yes, against JDM he got submitted, but he kind of got like knocked out as well. But JDM is, you know, top 5 in the division, and I think we'll be fighting for a title very soon. Unfortunately, he can't come to UFC 305 in Perth because I'm going to be going to that. But yeah, it sucks. I hope they have a better card than the UFC Sydney one last year. I didn't really enjoy that one too much in terms of the card, but I loved the experience. So I guess being a fight fan is just, you know, you love every fight. But anyway. He's also got a nice clinch game against Wellington Turman. Oh, yeah, it was a close fight, and yeah, he shouldn't be going close against Wellington Turman, but he showed off different facets. He showed off a nice clinch game against the cage and good knees, good strikes up against it. And one thing that I love about Randy Brown is his composure and his cardio matched together. He never, even if he gets cracked, he got cracked in the Chaos Williams fight. Yeah, he got cracked in that fight. He never really like looks just uncomfortable. He's just, you know, suits back up again and goes again, resets himself. He's always calm, always reading. It looks like he has fun in there. And it looked like he had a lot of fun in the Muslim fight, and then he found that beautiful KO. What I don't like about him is when I was saying he has fun in there, he also plays around a bit. I don't like the showboating, because sometimes the fight can slip away. I think he should have easily dominated Turman, and because he was stuffing around a bit and having too much fun, he kind of made that a bit closer than what it should have been. And he also has some really skinny legs, and they do get hit, but he never looks hurt by them or damaged by them. But in saying that, let's move swiftly on. Nice little linky here. Those leg kicks might come to problem against Zaleski, because he throws some nice leg kicks, but he kind of throws them to the thigh. He doesn't really throw calf kicks. He kind of throws traditional thigh kicks like the old school days. So I don't know if it's going to really affect Randy Brown here too much. He's also tough. No, tough is a nice word to put. He got beaten up, Baruna. Came back, got that 10-8 in the 3rd round. He got dropped. I don't think he got dropped. Yeah, he didn't get dropped. Sorry. He didn't get dropped, but he got hurt. He got stumbled by Abubakar. And he came back and he kind of just outgridded him, out-toughed him, out-clinched him, defended the takedowns, beat him up. The Benoit Saint-Denis fight, although Benoit was coming up from lightweight, battered him. I remember having a fight not to go to the decision in that fight. And the referee, I think, got fired after that, so it was beautiful. But yeah, And I think he's dynamic, but he's sort of slowed down. He's 37 now, okay? And yes, USADA's gone. The juice might coming out with his, we sort of Diego Ferreira, the best has ever looked. Anyway, so he's slowing down, and he used to have like, spinning wheel kicks. He's got that capoeira background, but I think he's a bit more plodding and one-dimensional now. What I don't like about him, or is his strikes are getting a bit more predictable, and you need to look at the competition he's fighting, okay? Please. Renat, not a striker, a grappler. Who got gassed, plodding forward, just stumbling forward. It was like a boxing bag for Zaleski. Nurmagomedov, exactly the same. Just a boxing bag. Only a grappler and a clinch wrestler was able to tee off on him because he's not very dynamic or he doesn't move well. Benoit, that was the worst Benoit's ever looked, and same thing, he just kind of plodded forward. Anyone can hit someone that's plodding forward and doesn't have much in return. You only have to worry about the takedowns, and then once they gassed out, you could just tee off on them. I don't think Randy Brown is going to be that fighter. I think Randy Brown's too fast. He's going to be too, his footwork. It's going to be touching Zaleski every now and then, and I actually think he can hurt Zaleski. This is a medium confidence pick, but I'm picking Randy Brown here. This is not the competition that Zaleski's been fighting. This is a different man that who's 33, so he's still in his prime, and I think he can just really stay at range, read the punches and the kicks of Zaleski, and I actually think he can put a stamp on this and find a finish here. A finish or sorry, I'll go third round finish or decision, because yeah, I have seen, like I said, Zaleski hurt by both Renat and Abubakar Nurmagomedov. So yeah, I think that wraps that one up pretty nicely. It's a Randy Brown win. On to the next one. Niko Price versus Alex Morono. Let's start with the Great White Morono. This man, I feel like he's fighting every couple of weeks. He is an active fighter, and I love it. I love fighters that stay active, because that's how same as me. I'm not going to get better at YouTube videos creating one YouTube video once a year. You got to get better by uploading frequently and learning your craft and learning from experience. He's a good striker and a good grappler. We see the submissions that he pulls on, like Tim Means, the guillotine choke. Should have gotten caught McGee, but McGee cheated out of that submission. If you watch it closely, he grabbed into the cage. And yeah, he had a competitive fight against Buckley in the striking department, but he kind of just got like out-youthed. He's not old. I think he's only like 32 or 33. 33, yeah. So he's still technically in his prime. But yeah, he kind of just got out-youthed in that fight. Matthew Semmelsberger avoided the power. I think he got stung once by like a knee, I'm pretty sure it was. But still, out-technicaled him. The corpse of Cerrone. Sad, but yeah. And yeah, he's a good striker and a good grappler, but he doesn't use the grappling unless it's defensive. So if someone goes take him down, he'll snatch up that neck. And I think that might, just a little hint, I think that might play into this fight. He's also got a unique style. It's like his arms are like out here. It's like this. And then pop. And he's just, people sometimes can't figure him out. Semmelsberg couldn't figure him out. Tim Meem's good. He was having success against him, but then he got cracked. And then Santiago Ponzinibbio. Morono was dominating that fight. But then he got cracked in the third round, which brings into my concern. His chin is not the best. Finished by Santiago. Got hurt by Semmelsberger. Finished back here by Chaos. He doesn't look like he can take punches that well. Also, his cardio. I don't think he can go full 3 rounds hard. Slow down against Court McGee in a fight which he should have probably ran away with. Court McGee, no offense, but he's like 40 now. He's kind of one-dimensional. And he made that a really razor-thin close fight. Slowed down against Buckley. Slowed down against Ponzinibbio. slow down against Semmelsberger. He slows down, and you don't want to slow down against someone like Niko Price. And you know how I said he's active? He's active because he openly said he doesn't really train fully for camps. He's a coach at his gym, and he just takes fights on the run. So you know, when the UFC call him up, Morono, can you take this one? No worries, mate. I'll be there. That's what he does. And you know, it comes at a detriment as well because he doesn't. I guess he's not as committed as some other fighters. Let's go to Niko Price now. What can you define this man as? Heart, grit, not the skills, but the heart. Yeah, that's what I would call Niko. Yeah, a lot of L's here. Let's go traditionally. Let's forget about, so where we're up to. These are a bit confusing to look at, but let's forget about this one. So this was his last MMA fight, okay? Let's skim down a bit. So let's just cut that off. The Phil Rowe fight. Competitive. And he threw, like I said, when I was talking about Phil Rowe last time, a couple fights ago, he threw like over 200 strikes and he was winning that fight. He hurt Phil Rowe in the 3rd round and he was, you know, his strikes aren't traditional and they're not very technical. But he gets him out there and he finds ways to hurt his opponent and to, you know, to win fights. He mixes it up as well. He likes to clinch. He tries to wrestle sometimes. Yeah, but then we go to the Robbie Lawler fight and come on. It's either he threw that fight or Niko Price is done for. One or the other. Pick your poison. I'm gonna say he is done for because I like to believe that the UFC does not fix fights and there's no WWE influence onto this. He got uppercutted in the clinch and it wasn't a powerful uppercut, guys. You can tell when a shot's clean and all that. And maybe he didn't see it. I don't know, but that was not powerful. And he just got dropped, folded like a lawn chair, and it was sad. And I didn't like it because yeah, I like Robbie Lawler, but I also like Niko Price, and I don't like seeing a fighter kind of just not even have 40 seconds into the fight to show what they've got. They train a whole camp. Another thing is, man, he's got a lot of fight miles. Yeah. Well, how old is he? 35 or something like that? 34. So still young in the fight game. Well, not necessarily in the fight game, but he's still young. He's got a lot of damage. Damage against Luca. I remember that fight. That was nasty. Phil Rowe, nasty. Lawler got knocked out. Pereira kind of got, you know, it was a close fight, but kind of got dominated. Jeff Neal, nasty. Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, nasty. He's getting hurt and it's bad, but you know, traditionally and historically he's been able to come back and show his heart and you know, his sloppiness, he kind of plays into his fight, into his style, sorry. But man, I don't know. I think Alex Morono should win this fight, and this is going to be a medium, no, it's going to be a low confidence pick, okay? Because I think based on the tape, you really can't separate these guys too much in terms of who's going to win and who's going to not. It's just too close. You just got too many negatives and positives for each fighter. I think Niko has the heart and the grit and the determination, but I think Morono has the technicalities, but they kind of counteract each other. I think just Morono finds something here. I didn't like how Price, this late into his career, I remember last fight, I was actually big on him against Robbie Lawler. I saw on Instagram he was training with Ben Askren on his wrestling at 34 or 33, whatever he is. Yeah, I don't think that's the correct thing to do. I don't think he's training at a good gym either. And I just think if he shoots on Morono, he's going to get his neck snatched up. I'm very confident in that. I actually think that's how Morono's going to win. He's going to win by a guillotine. And then on the feet, I think he can get hurt here. But if he doesn't, round 3, Niko Price, maybe. I wouldn't be too surprised. I wouldn't be at all. I'm a lot less confident in this fight than people are, but yeah, we'll go with Morono, guillotine, second round. All right, let's go to the third last fight of the card. Kevin Holland versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. Let's go with Mr. Michal. I love me some Michal, and I don't mean that in the way that you might be thinking, but I like this man in the UFC. I like his fighting style. He is just a relentless boxer who has some solid combinations. You saw in the Cheaty fight, this man got cracked and came back. Bah, 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 bah. Body shot, headshot, just gave no respect to Cheaty. In the KO fight, kind of got dominated in the wrestling and the grappling, but forget about that. Cody Brundage fight. That's where the Brundage story started, of him quitting, because he kind of just like got into Cody Brundage's guard, showed off some nice wrestling, and just boxed him while on his knees. That's what he did. He ground and pounded him for using his nice boxing combinations. And then Sam Alvey, poor Sam Alvey, but he's doing well. He's doing well in the karate combat. So good for Sam Alvey. But yeah, he's got some good boxing, and he's also been mixing up the wrestling, which I've liked to see. Do I think he's going to be able to use in this fight? Absolutely not, but good to see. What I don't like about him is, man, I don't think people are talking about this enough, but his cardio is not the best. Let's go back to the Jacoby fight. The Jacoby fight, round 2 starts. He's slow. He's very slow. We go to the Kaio fight. Round 2 starts. He's slow. Very slow. And then, yeah, those are the 2 ones that I can give you. So yeah, I don't know if his cardio is the best at all. He's also fighting out of not the best gym. We saw the last fight. I think he was training out of his home gym with just his buddies. So yeah, I don't think that's a good base for MMA. He got folded by Pereira, but Pereira's on a run right now. He's insane right now. He's going to shoot himself up to the title shot if he can keep winning, but without getting these backflips and hurting and like nearly getting himself disqualified. But yeah, the grappling is also a major weakness, and I think most people know that. We saw that in the Jimmy Crute fight. We saw that in the OSP fight, the KO fight. Yeah, what else can I say about that one? Okay, Kevin Holland. Let's begin with Mr. Kevin Holland, Mr. Save the Day. What do we like about Kevin Holland? Well, I like his personality. Good bloke. But that doesn't win you fights. So, he's got rangy striking. He's got nice striking. Kicks, punches. I really thought he showed that off in the, man, this is old. I can't believe this is 4 years ago. 4 years ago. God damn. Nearly half a decade. But the Jacqueline Buckley fight, I remember that cross was sweet, on the money. But anyway, good striking, you know, showed it against, not really. I thought Michael Page whooped his ass, no offense, but I thought Michael Page destroyed him. I thought he comfortably won that 3-0. Same with the JDM. I thought JDM kind of comfortably won that fight as well. In the Chiesa fight, I think he hurt him. Yeah, he did hurt him, and then he got the Das. In the Ponzinibbio fight, I think he was losing that fight actually, and then got him with the left hook, but he did have a broken hand in that fight, remember. So, and then Stephen Thompson, still to this day, one of the best strikers in the UFC, hands down. If Stephen Thompson had a takedown, like he had the best takedown defense and ground game, and he had a bit more power, he would be champion. Best striking, and I love it because I grew up on karate, and it makes me feel a bit proud that that art form can be used in MMA quite successfully. So yeah, he did get kind of styled on by Thompson. And then the Kamzat fight's an anomaly. He got grappled relentlessly for the first 2 minutes, and then you know, I think if he got out of that dash stroke, he would have won that fight, because I think Kamzat gave everything in that fight. But yeah, he's got nice striking. He's also got some beautiful BJJ. You saw it in the Chiesa fight. Where else did we see that? Oh yeah, the Tim Means fight. Yeah, beautiful Das. Got some long arms, so he can really wrap up that Das choke. He's also got an insane chin. I don't know how he stayed alive in that Michael Page fight. He was getting cracked, and Michael Page puts everything into it because he steps into his combinations, and he was just taking them. The same with the JDM fight, taking the punches and just showing his heart. Same with the Stephen Thompson fight, really. Kind of just doesn't go away, doesn't get finished. Has he ever been KO'd? Got one loss by KO. When was this? I don't know, a long time ago. I remember the Kyle Dorcas fight. Yeah, he got headbutted, so he did get wobbled in there. That was a headbutt. You don't expect it. Can't really read that. But what we don't like about Kevin Holland, it's Kevin Holland. He lets fights slip away. He doesn't take them seriously. We all know that. He is here for the money, not for the belt, and you can never fully trust that. But in all, I think this is the perfect matchup for Kevin Holland. I think he won't get finished in the first round, and you know he could. His MMA and Michal has some real nice strikes, but some boxing combinations. But after the first round, I think it's all Kevin Holland. He's going to teep him. He's going to play with him, and as Michal slows down, he's going to be able to find his punches, and I think he's going to hurt Michal. He's going to find a finish in the second, third round. I'm very high confidence in this because it's just a stylistic nightmare for Michal. I actually picked Michal against Michel Pereira because I thought Michel Pereira would be the one that slowed down first. But yeah, that never happened. He got slapped. Oh, yeah, he got choked out in the first. So yeah, I think this is an easy Kevin Holland win. You know, if he survives the first round. On to the next fight. We got the co-main event of the evening. Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. Let's go with Mr. Costa here. Is this the most overrated fighter in the UFC ever? I think it is, and I really do think it is. Let's give him his flowers first. He has good kicks. I like his kicks, especially his body and leg kicks. We saw it in the Rob Whittaker fight. He was getting his leg pieced up by Rob Whittaker, but he was also piecing up Rob Whittaker's legs. And I think he can play effect here against Sean Strickland because Sean Strickland has that real upright stance, and you know, as Sean Strickland moves in, he can kind of kick his legs quite easily. But yeah, he's got that. He's got nice pressure, but he doesn't do much with it. That's the caveat here. He pressures fighters. He pressured Rob Whittaker. He pressured Marvin Vettori. He landed some nice body kicks on Vettori, and as well as Whittaker. He pressures, but he doesn't do much with it. And it's concerning in this fight because even if he pressures Sean Strickland's got that defense. He matched that with the lack of output from Costa when he does pressure. I don't see much, but we'll get to that. But there's also a lot of cons for Costa because I think that's it. I don't think he has good boxing. We'll start with that. I don't think he has good boxing. He's got nice combinations. Okay, yeah, all right, but he doesn't have power. And yeah, he's got all these, but come on. Johnny Hendricks at his tail end of his career, Uriah Hall, tail end of the career. He doesn't have good striking in terms of matching. So you either have let me simplify this. In MMA for boxing, you either have precision, you have volume, or you have power. I don't think he has either of those. I don't think he has precision. I don't think he has power. And I don't think he has volume in his boxing. So it's kind of just there to set up with his kicks. And he doesn't. Let's go on to the next point. Look at his competition, please. Please look at his competition. Whenever he fights a top-rated fighter, he loses. Izzy, dominated. Vettori, not the highest level of fighters. He's in the top 5. And I love Vettori because I'm a fellow Italian. He's actually one of my favorite fighters. So I like his personality. And he's a gangster. He's a pure gangster because he went up against Costa, and Costa was playing. I hated Costa for this fight. Everyone found it funny. Bro, it's not funny, okay? It's really not. You're playing around with people's careers. He didn't want to fight at middleweight, and he's like, oh, they can't fight this way. And then he wanted to fight like heavyweight, and Marvin Vettori was just like, whatever, bro, whatever. I'll fight you whatever weight class you want as long as I get that fight. And then Luke Rockhold, everyone knows Luke Rockhold's chinny these days. He couldn't even finish Luke Rockhold. He didn't even get close to finishing him. And then in the third round, what happened? Luke Rockhold was starting, even though a gassed Luke Rockhold was starting to come on his own and get some takedowns on Costa. Another one, the jab. He got jabbed to bits by Rob Whittaker. And I know it's not a standard jab. I know Rob Whittaker is kind of like a karate jab. He steps in and jabs. Still, he was getting his face lit up by Rob Whittaker's jab. Which brings us to Sean Strickland, the jab master. Sean, what's he good at? Well, he's good at great things. His jab mixed with the straight, okay. He's good with his cardio, and he's good with his defense. Let's go look at his fights. So, Dricus du Plessis. Everyone, oh not everyone, I see a lot of people saying Sean should have won that, he got robbed. I don't think so. I think Dricus clearly won that fight. He had the higher impact strikes, he had the wrestling as well, and he just won that fight off determination and grit. But it was a close fight, very close fight, but I still think Dricus won that fight. The Izzy fight, I was there watching that live. I remember I don't like Izzy. I'm an Australian. Izzy's a New Zealander, so he's not even from Australia, so you know, but people kind of align New Zealand to Australia, but still. The homeboy Izzy, I don't like him in terms of his fighting style, and I was rooting for Sean, but I had a parlay going on and it was a massive payout and Izzy was my last leg. And I was watching this fight and I'm like, I guess it's a win-win because I like Sean, but yeah, and then if Izzy wins I win my money. So but I couldn't believe that Sean did that fight against Izzy and that game plan. He just pressured him and just jabbed him, out-straighted him, outboxed him, and it was crazy, and I loved it. And his defense was insane. His defense against Dricus, it was pretty good as well. Izzy, phenomenal. Abus Magomedov, the first round, he survived the barrage that Abus put on him, and he never really looked in danger. Imavov, I remember that, short notice, just destroyed him in terms of out dogging him. And then the Jared Cannonier fight, I thought Sean won that quite clearly. And then Pereira, who isn't Pereira knocking out these days? So yeah. What I don't like about Sean is he doesn't have these big moments. He's a 1-2 type of guy. So these big moments don't happen. He did happen against the Izzy fight, and that was wild. You should have seen the arena. It was so loud when he knocked down Izzy. But it's a bit scary in this fight because he doesn't have these big moments. He's also a bit one-dimensional. Like I said, he's the 1-2, but it works for him and it works with his defense. But let's go back to the big moments thing. So we'll get to my prediction. I think Strickland wins this fight, and I'm at like a medium's confidence because I think he makes Paulo. I think his level's above Costa. But the big moments scare me a little bit because I do think Costa will have the bigger oohs and ahs from the crowds. And I do think, and the commentators, I do think those play into the judges' score mind because I do think this is going to the decision. And when it's going into a decision, it's scary to have your pick. You know, no matter what decision it is, unless you know the fight's going to dominate for the 5 rounds, it's a scary thing going to the scorecards because you know these judges. I don't know, man. Some of these judges, I don't know if they watch UFC or MMA, sorry. I don't know if they understand scoring themselves. But anyway, so the prediction, I just think Sean's going to do what he always does. Jab, 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 jab. Put in a straight, jab, straight. And then I think Costa's going to get some success with his kicks. I think he is going to leg kick Sean, and I think he's going to have some success with it. If he debilitates the leg of Strickland, excuse me, then we might have an interesting fight here. But if it's just 1-1, I think Sean's going to win this relatively easily. It's a medium confidence because of the big moments, but I think he's just going to jab him apart. We saw it against the Whitaker fight for Costa. He can't. And we saw it against every fight that he's had against the top tier. Whenever he reaches that top level, he can't rise to the occasion. And I don't think he's going to rise to this occasion. So yeah, it's a Sean Strickland decision win for me. And yeah, that's about it. So this brings us to our main event of the evening. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. Let's start off with Islam, the champion, the pound for pound. But a champion of this division, could be the GOAT in the upcoming years. I want to preface this by saying I think he is the better of the two out of Khabib and himself. I think he's the more well-rounded fighter. I think he has already better defenses than Khabib. And I think Khabib just didn't show enough in the UFC, to be honest. Let's start with what he's good at, guys. He's good at everything. Everything. Every single component of MMA he is good at. Cardio, check. Striking, check. Wrestling, check. Grappling, check. IQ, check. Everything. What I want to raise, okay, I don't care about this fight. This one here doesn't mean much to me. The Volkanovski KO in the first round, it showed his really nice striking. But what's more impressive was the first one. People are forgetting that Volkanovski, and you know, it's not because I'm Australian, I promise you guys it's not. He was the GOAT. He was the GOAT. He was the pound for pound king. And I still think he can come on. Just forget about the, you know, the Ilya fight happened. And the second one happened as well. But he was the pound for pound king. Volkanovski could do everything that Makhachev could do. And they went like tit to tat. And it was just specific moments and improvisations by Makhachev that won in that fight. I think that's so impressive. Going 5 rounds against Volkanovski is insane, and winning that decision is insane. And his striking looked insane. He was hurting Volk with some straights. And you know, everyone's classifying Islam. Oh, he has to wrestle with Dustin. I don't think so. I think he has the better striking out of the two, and I'm gonna stand on that. I think Dustin has the better boxing, but striking involves kicks, and I think Islam's kicks are way better than Dustin's. Dustin's got that calf kick. Yes, he does. He does have that calf kick. He showed it against McGregor. But Islam's got those body kicks and he's got those head kicks. And I think that's going to play a huge part in this. What I don't like about him, it's hard when you're talking about the pound for pound king here, but, and let me tell you as well, Islam, I'm not that big of a fan of him, by the way, but I do respect fighters and their skill sets. I guess his chin, he got KO'd all the way back here by Martins, but fighters get KO'd, and you know what? I'd rather see a fighter get KO'd on their record than them getting dominated by decision. And I'll tell you why. A KO can happen to anyone, any fighter, doesn't matter. Max Holloway could get KO'd. When a shot lands flush, or when you don't expect it, it puts you out. And you will know that if you've trained MMA. It's happened to me before. You just get stung by something and you don't see it, and you just kind of like drop your knees. When you get dominated in decision, it means skill for skill, you were the lesser of the fighters. And he hasn't had that happen in his entire career. Let's go to Dustin. Man. I don't like Dustin either, and I respect him as a fighter, but I don't think he should be here. I don't think he should be here. Justin Gaethje should be here, or someone else. Max Holloway, Volk, Benoit if he didn't have the staph infection. But you know, we'll get to that. So Poirier, we all know what he's got. He's got the, man, look at this competition. You got all the way back here, Cub Swanson, Brandao, Ferreira, Bobby Green, Michael Johnson, Eddie Alvarez, Perez, Gaethje, Alvarez again, Holloway, Khabib, Hooker, McGregor, Oliveira, Chandler, Gaethje, Benoit. Man, you can't top that competition, really. You know, there's a few people that can top that competition. He's also got beautiful boxing. We all know he's got beautiful boxing. And you know, in the McGregor fights, like I said before, he showed some excellent leg kicks, some calf kicks. But man, like I said before, I don't think he deserves to be here. I think Gaethje played this wrong. I think he shouldn't have taken that Holloway fight, because if he stayed out, he would have gotten this Islam fight himself. And you know, I think that would have been a much more competitive fight. We saw in the Benoit fight that, and then the Chandler fight as well, that Poirier can get taken down, and that's bad news coming against the best wrestler in the division, the best grappler in the division. I don't think Poirier is going to know what to do. I don't know. Like I said, I think Islam's got beautiful striking, and if Islam strikes with Poirier, he's going to be worried about the takedowns. He's going to get hit. Then, if Islam goes to the takedowns, Poirier's probably going to be worried about the striking. He's going to get taken down. So I just think, yeah, his takedown defense is not good enough. I also think his cardio, I think he was wilting against Benoit, and if Benoit didn't have the staph infection, I think Benoit was going to finish him in that second round or in that third round. He was Dustin looked like he was just about to, you know, close shop. He was tired, even in the Michael Chandler fight, tired in the third round, until Michael Chandler did that he like picked him up, put him over his shoulder, and then ended up Dustin just like falling perfectly into the back of Chandler and securing that choke. And yeah, I don't know if his chin's the best either. He looked hurt from Benoit. He got KO'd, you know, by Gaethje, but that was like a head kick that like wrapped around his neck and hit the back. Charles got hurt. Chandler got hurt. Hooker got hurt badly. I'm just gonna keep it simple, guys. I think Islam defeats him whatever way he wants, unless the Staff infections are real. Because there's rumors going around that Staff is happening, and mind you, in the Paulo Costa fight, got Staff in his foot. Just adds to my Sean Strickland pick. But anyway, we're talking about Islam. Yeah, unless the Staff infections are true and the rumors are true and it really debilitates him, I think Islam just wins whatever way he wants in the first 3 rounds. I'm gonna think he gets taken down and he just gets submitted. It is what it is. But yeah, that's the main event for you, and that's the whole card. I hope you all enjoyed this breakdown. This was my first ever MMA breakdowns. I've been doing breakdowns on Twitter since the start of the year. I've been betting on MMA since 2018. I've been watching MMA since, you know, I'm 24, but I promise you I've been watching since about 2007, 2008, because I used to go into we had the blockbusters back in Australia, and what would I do? I would watch The Ultimate Fighter. I remember Bisping and Matt Hamill back on season 3, I think it was 3 of The Ultimate Fighter, and Bisping's my favorite fighter ever. And I remember watching them. So I've been watching MMA for a long time, and I've been watching MMA religiously, so week after week, every single card since 2018. So I do have quite a bit of knowledge about certain fighters and their past competitions and whatnot. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Please leave me a comment down below on anything I can improve on or things I did well. It would be greatly appreciated because I'm just working on this. I promise you we're going to have graphics soon. We're going to be one of the top tier MMA channels on YouTube. I can promise you that, because when I put my mind to something, you know, it's been too long. I've been contemplating this for a long time, and now it's time to get cracking, because I'm finally got my setup, and we'll constantly improve. Please leave a like, subscribe, share, let everyone know who's interested in MMA about this channel. And like I said, I'm going to try and stick to a so once a week we're going to do the MMA card breakdowns, and then we're going to also do like some MMA content on the side as well. Also, I'm going to start to do some companions on the fight nights, or the UFC cards, so you can watch the fight cards with me, and should be fun. So until next time, I guess I'll catch you later. Ciao.